What's going on, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of the Rentish Podcast. I'm Zach, and I'm here with my co-host, Patrick.
We're two rookies chasing the dream of real estate investing. In this podcast, we'll talk about property management, wild stories, and everything in between. We don't know it all yet.
But that's the point. We're learning as we go, just like you. We'll bring in the experts to educate and inform us, hint, hint, about what's about to happen here in the next 5 minutes. And we'll figure it out together. So let's laugh, learn, and dive into real estate side by side. Patrick, you know what it is. We've been doing the show for a while now. This episode's probably coming around the holidays. You're nestled up in your home with your favorite candle and a blankie and a cup of hot cocoa, and you're down to listen about property management and real estate, huh?
I'm aware of the situation.
Yes. Very aware. Well, everyone out there, thank you for listening to this episode. It's going to be a really fun one. We do have a very, very special guest that we're going to get to here in just a second. But remember, follow the show on your podcast platform of choice. If you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the Rentish Pod there. Be sure to like us, rate us, review us, leave us a comment, tell us how much you appreciate the show, or give us a topic suggestion for what you want to hear us talk about. And you can do that by sending an email to questions@therentishpod.com. And tell a friend that might not know about the podcast, and we'd love for you to share the goodness, share the cheer, the warmth and cheer of our lovely show here. And we have to talk about this randomly. If we appeared on your Spotify Wrapped, I don't know if there's anybody out there, but if anybody out there had the Rentish on your Spotify Wrapped, tag us at the Rentish Pod on socials.
I do not listen to podcasts on Spotify, but I had listened to like an episode of the Rentish Pod on podcast. It was my number one podcast, and I hate that so much.
That's great. You should post that on social media. Get some buzz going.
Yeah.
You're like probably in like the top 0.001% fan of the show. All jokes aside. All right. Enough sitting around, enough goofing off. Ordinarily, I'd ask you about like what movies you've seen or if you're having a good time. But right now, we have to just get into it. We got to talk to our very special guest. We're here with William Hollis, the founder and CEO of Raise AI. If you're new to real estate or just starting to raise money, this is a guy that you want to learn from. Hollis comes from a rare mix of worlds. He taught himself software engineering, worked on AI systems for brands like Disney and Nike, and jumped into real estate and realized something most people don't want to admit. Raising capital is way too manual, way too messy, and slows down deals that should be moving. So instead of complaining, he built tools to fix it. And now he helps real estate investors communicate with their investors faster, stay organized, and all that good stuff. William, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for being on the Rentish Pod.
Thanks for having me, guys. I love the tag team vibe you guys have going on. This is probably one of the only shows I've done that have two hosts, so it's nice. I like it.
Okay.
Did we botch your intro, by the way?
Yeah, that was you guys nailed it. I feel like I was taking notes. I was like, wow, did I do that?
Did I do that? Come on. No, it's awesome. Yeah, we're with the tag team of podcasts. I think we're gonna officially quote that on the back of when we release the show on the album art. We're gonna say tag team of podcast duos, quote William Hollis. Try to get some fame going. Well, how's your day going? Thank you for being here. You're excited to be on the show?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you guys for having me. Love to talk shop and just have a good time.
Cool. Well, we'll keep it simple right out the gate. I mean, we'd just love for you. I mean, I gave you a little bit of an intro, obviously, there, but we kind of just want to hear it from you. Like, what's your story? Like, tell us about how you got into the industry. You know, what makes you tick?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Hollis from Hollis, Queens. My first name is William, but my last name is Hollis. Believe it or not, I grew up in Hollis, Queens, 2 blocks from Hollis Avenue.
Oh, no way.
And so everybody just calls me Hollis.
Whoa.
That's cool. That's a killer nickname. That's awesome.
You're like the guy in Hollis.
I wish one day I'm gonna own some property there, right? That's the goal. But I bring that up because that's really where kind of my real estate journey began. You know, growing up in the 90s, rented a house with our family of 5, so my brother and my sister, mom and dad. And we had our landlord. He's coming by every first of the month. And, you know, in the 90s, everyone paid their rent in cash. So his name is Mr. Carter. Every first of the month, Mr. Carter's just shoving $100 bills into his wallet. Like, I have a very clear memory of being around 5 years old and seeing his wallet so fat that he couldn't fold it. It had so much money in it. He couldn't fold his wallet, and he would try to put it in his back pocket. And he had one of those Ford Tauruses with the cloth seats, and he would sit on his wallet, and the wallet was so big that the seat would just kind of buckle underneath the weight. And so 5-year-old me, really like scrounging together 2 nickels to keep the lights on. And I see Mr. Carter, and I think to myself, I've got to figure out how to do what Mr. Carter's doing. I don't know how he owns all these houses, but he's doing something right. So that's what kind of gave me that early bug for real estate investing. I didn't actually take any action for many, 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 many years after that, but that's what gave me the bug initially.
If you were 5 years old in, like, let's say 2025, and you just saw like Mr. Carter's phone screen and just saw like a big number on his bank account, would have hit the same? You think?
His Venmo account, right? Like,
that's cool though.
So at what point did AI enter the mix for you? Because that's I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I want to hear about today from you, is that's the buzzword, right? In the world, that's the word people want to talk about. It's changing the way that we look at just about every part of our lives electronically. But when did that come into the picture for you, and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I started learning to code when I was probably 11 or 12. I was playing Sega Genesis, and my mind was blown that I was pressing the buttons on the controller and Sonic was moving back and forth on the screen.
Absolutely.
From then I had this kind of curiosity of how do I make these games? Like, how does all of this stuff work? In the late, it was probably 1997, we got our first computer, and I took the whole thing apart. Got my butt beat because it was a family computer.
Yeah.
I did put it back together successfully, though. I did put it back together. Started teaching myself how to code. I didn't have a professional job in software until I was like 23, 24, something like that. But I had taught myself all these skills up until that point, just traveling around doing odd jobs before I came into the professional world. But the first job I got sitting behind a desk was an answer to a Craigslist ad that said, "Make computers talk." And it was an ad for a company called Creative Virtual. I believe they're still around. But this was an enterprise level AI company way before AI was cool. This is 2012, maybe 2013, something like that. And I got an entry level position at this company doing a knowledge base engineer, which basically meant I programmed our internal large language model through data entry, like as boring as you can think, data entry. But it was at an AI company, and I, slowly but surely over the years, kind of with my own curiosity and staying in the CEO's face all the time, kind of worked my way up to being the senior software developer at that company. And
you said this was, this is like 2012, 2013, just so I can say.
I got started.
Okay.
I got started there. Yeah, that company had been around already for maybe 10 years though. So AI is a lot older than we think.
I was about to say, I would have thought back then AI is just like a science fiction movie thing. I didn't know there were real companies. Like,
oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the video game aspect of like with that being like a starting point for you. Like, I also got into tech as a young age because of like playing Sonic on the Sega Genesis. I love that stuff. But like the first time I remember hearing about AI, other than like science fiction movies, was AI characters in the video game. Like, you have program AI to like be the enemies. Like, if you're going into a room in a video game and there's like a bunch of enemies that are going to attack you, those things have an AI programming associated with them. So that's cool that you got that too.
Yeah, man, that was making video games. I remember designing my own version of Super Mario Brothers on ActionScript. So for any nerds listening, will know what ActionScript is.
We have plenty of those listening.
early 2000s tech that we thought was groundbreaking and doesn't even exist anymore. So
okay. All right. So then what made you look at real estate and think like raising money shouldn't be this manual? Like, there's got to be some sort of way to automate this. Like, was there a specific moment that really stuck out where you were like, I can take this technology, I can work with AI, and I can bring it into the world of real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. It was right after I'd been in real estate for a little while, I was wholesaling real estate. So for those who don't know, that's basically when you kind of point out deals for people who actually have money to buy those deals, and they give you a little cut of the deal for that,
Mhm.
right? So I was doing that for a while. Tried to go and buy my own multifamily building. I think it was 270, like 34 units, if I remember correctly. It was like two 17-unit buildings next to each other, something like that. And then I tried to raise the money. You had to raise about $4 million in equity, meaning like cash to be able to qualify for that loan. Failed miserably in order to do in that attempt because raising money is hard.
Yeah.
And I joined a mastermind for specifically for raising money, for raising capital for real estate. It's called Raise Masters. Um, I get in this mastermind and I'm learning, how do you raise money, right? All the ins and outs, and how do you build an investor list? How do you find, investor leads, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And they were fairly technology forward for the time, right? But when I spoke to the actual operators, the guys who were doing deals, and try to learn straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, it was kind of like, yeah, I got this Excel spreadsheet over here, and I just kind of call down the list and I try to make a note, or I've got this Gmail blast that I do, and I BCC every contact so that no one else knows who's on the thread.
Hmm.
Or some guys, actually, some of the larger operators had a physical paper Rolodex that they were just like, yeah, I've got these names, and you see this one's got a little star on it. That means he's a good guy. He's a good investor. The guys who don't have stars are just okay. And as a deal comes in, I just flip through this bad boy and start working the phones. And so I was still working for the AI company at the time, and I mean, AI had already made a lot of leaps and bounds. And coming into this, I was like, guys, what? Are you really doing this? Is this how this actually works? Aren't you all rich? Like you don't know what technology is available. And so that was kind of an aha moment for me when I saw really behind the scenes. There's what was being taught, which was great, but like behind the scenes, what people were actually doing. And I said, we've got a lot of room for improvement here based on the available technology.
Okay. Cool. So raise AI. Yeah, I wanted to make
That
sure.
is correct.
I was like, what?
No, the dramatic pause was totally on purpose, everyone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone listening, that was
Pregnant
totally on
pause,
purpose.
pregnant pause.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what's your day to day look like now with the company? Like, I mean, like, what like, where can people find your product? Like, just kind of give us the rundown about what Raise AI can offer for customers out
Yeah, so to do that, I'll give you the background of how Raise AI came to be. It was really simple. I was in Raise Masters, and I had started building out some of these automated systems with some light AI tools and things like that. And because I was part of this community and people were helping me out a lot, I did it for free for them. I was just like, hey, if you want, we'd be on like an office hours call, and we had this little like hangout call we used to do. And if people wanted to see what I had done, or they wanted to learn how to do it, I would literally
there? Right.
just share my screen, walk them through them, like, yep, download this, click this there, boom, boom, boom. And the whole idea behind it is, how do you find investors faster? How do you build their trust faster? And how do you nurture them all the way to the point that they actually put the money into your bank account so you can go spend it
Okay.
faster, right? And that's the problem that Raise AI still solves to this day. But initially, it started out as just doing it for people on these coaching calls every other week. And then one day I'm working on it for a guy, and he's like, man, Hollis, it's taking you a while to do this. Like he asked me for it, and it took me like a month or something like that. And he's like, would you go faster if I paid you? And I said, I probably would go faster if you paid me. Yeah.
You're like, no.
Actually, I'll go slower. So if you would be surprised on that, I'm just going to take my time. That's awesome. That's awesome. It sounds like it provides a really great tool for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it's really good. We've got a lot of really cool case studies of people who've been able to, raise money, close deals, find more investors. Because the interesting thing about raising capital for anything, but in particular for real estate, typically you're not looking for one investor, right? So oftentimes when you're raising VC, you just got to convince a guy or a board of guys, right? When you're raising capital for real estate, let's say you're buying a, $20 million apartment building, you could have anywhere from, 10 to 100 investors, LPs in that deal. So you've got to be able to maintain all those relationships and find those people first of all. So which can be it can be daunting. So adding in automation and AI into that just makes the process a lot smoother.
Real quick question. So you said, I think I heard an acronym there, and whenever we hear an acronym, we're like, we gotta know what this acronym is. It's for the listeners.
Yeah, right. Yeah, purely for the listeners, not for any other purpose, so that we get educated.
Did I hear LB?
LP.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
Loss prevention?
No, actually the opposite.
No, really? Oh, crap! I thought I had like a genius light bulb moment.
Try again.
Yeah, that's not the.
All right. What is an LP then?
LP stands for limited partner. Basically, whenever you have what's called a syndication, is one of the more technical terms, but it's basically a group of people that buy a property, right? You've got the operating team that makes the day-to-day decisions, hires the contractors, gets the loans, all that sort of stuff. That team of people, it can be anywhere from 1 to 10 people, maybe more sometimes. It's called the GP, the general partnership, and then the partners that just bring equity, so they just bring cash to invest in the deal. Those are called the limited partners. They have no real decision-making power on the day-to-day basis, but they also get the largest share of the profits from the deal, right? So they take more risk because they put in their own capital. Usually the LPs put in the actual cash. The general partnership puts in a little bit of cash, but their biggest contribution comes from the bank, which is going to be 50 to 60, 75% of the deal.
This is ringing a bell because we did have a tax guy on here like maybe 2 months ago, and now I didn't know it was LP was like the cool way to say it. So now I know.
There you go. Got you some jargon out there.
No, it's so. With what you're doing with Raise AI, is this like a huge booming sort of like, because I mean I feel like AI is kind of making its way into every aspect of our lives. Is this like, are you kind of like ahead of the curve on this one? Like, is AI really booming in this area? Do you have like a lot of competition? Are you still competing with like sort of the manual way, so to speak?
Great question. So it depends on where you sit, right? So from my perspective, I feel like there's a lot of competition, but that's because the algorithm knows what I do and shows me ads for my competitors all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
Huh. But when you look at actual market share percentage, when we did our last check, there were between 100,000 and 150,000 small to mid-size real estate private equity funds, meaning groups of people that go out and try to find buildings to buy, we'll call it for simple terms, not necessarily buildings, but for simplicity, try to find buildings to buy and then raise capital from the LPs, right? There's about 100,000 to 150,000 of those. Last we checked, I think we checked earlier this year. So I can have a very, very healthy business if 2% of those people are my clients, right? So is there a lot of competition? Probably. But I also don't need all 150,000 of those people to be my clients. You know what I mean? As far as being ahead or behind the curve, I think we're definitely ahead of the curve in that not only my own personal experience in AI, but my team's experience in the other side of this, which is marketing, right? How do you actually find high net worth individuals, accredited investors who are capable and legally allowed to invest in private placements? We have our team has 15 years experience doing that. I have about 15 years experience in AI. Now, the great equalizer is how fast this technology changes, right? So I do AI consulting for mid-sized businesses, meaning I'll fly out, give them a 2-day session. How do we use AI in your business? And walk them through really practical use cases for their business. The first slide I show them is I don't know anything. Because on the flight here, a new thing came out and I was on the plane. I didn't hear about it. Sorry, bro. So, you know what I mean? So there's that factor. Like the technology moves so quickly that you can't create a giant knowledge gap. There's no insane secret sauce that you can create, but the way you package it together, and the experience that we bring to the table is definitely unique.
Yeah, and that learning experience I think is true for everybody or at least most people in the world that we live in now with AI. Like people in different, not even in just in real estate, in a lot of other general places are learning to like work with it and see how it, balances out with your typical work and how it weaves in and in and out of your life. And so yeah, it's cool. So what is something that real estate people are still doing like manually that you think AI should just be taken care of instead?
Underwriting, right? So that's something that we use it for internally. Obviously, we use it for much larger properties with much more complex underwriting. But let's say you're an investor and you just want to buy single family or small multifamily, 2 to 4 unit properties, and you're like, hey, I live in Connecticut, right? So we'll take that market, say, hey, I want to buy these kind of properties in Connecticut. I don't know where to find them. I'm kind of looking on Zillow, and only as they pop my inbox, and then I gotta put the numbers in the spreadsheet and like write some stuff down and then try to call the realtor and figure out. AI can literally do that entire process. You can build a very, very simple AI tool that listens for Zillow postings, and you give it your criteria. Then you say, hey, I want these buildings with these kind of metrics, or these kind of homes with these kind of metrics. Here's my buy box, and AI will find the deals that look like that as they come up. It can reach out to the realtor with your offer all ready to go. And so we built internal tools like that, and we're able to underwrite hundreds of deals a day. Hundreds of deals a day. Whereas, that's somebody's job before, was trying to underwrite 2 deals a day. And now AI can do that with real-time data on top of that, right? So we pay for a few different data sources from some, data brokers. So that gives us access to a little bit higher level data real time. But most of the stuff is available. You Google around, you can piece all this stuff together.
So Patrick, I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was like a month or two ago, we did an episode where we covered, there was a news article that came out about Zillow incorporating AI agents into their software. And Patrick and I, obviously, we just kind of joked around about a lot of it because that's the show. But one of the things we did legitimately talk about is like envisioning a world without needing a real estate agent anymore. Where it's like if you have an AI agent that can kind of help walk through the process, you have companies that are able to do that. You said underwriting is the term that you use.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to actually compose and create these deals and then have it be sent to someone. It's like could you personally, from your professional experience, see a world where that kind of goes the way of the dodo?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it depends on what kind of real estate you're talking about. I think for residential real estate, you will always have a realtor because residential real estate is a very emotional experience. Right? You're buying your home for your family, or you're selling your family home. It's a very emotional thing. Commercial real estate definitely could go that way because that's just a numbers game. Like, I don't care who you are or what the story is. Do the numbers work, yes or no? And that's just a spreadsheet, right? And then the spreadsheet looks good. All my little boxes are green. And I send Zach an email that says, hey, my boxes are green. Will you take $10 million? And Zach's either going to say yes or no.
Yeah, right. Say yes to that amount of money. If anyone wants to go ahead and offer that
correct answer.
You know where I live at the Rentish Pod. You know where to find me. No, that's cool. Yeah, Patrick, that goes to say maybe we need to look inward because in our entire conversation about that, we never thought about the emotional aspect.
Yeah,
home buying and selling.
What does that say about us?
It's interesting.
Your inner realtor.
Yeah.
I hear it. Yeah, Patrick and I have both never gone through, but both of us are renters too, which is an interesting thing why we've been having a lot of really great guests that know a lot about real estate because they've been able to kind of educate us on how that process looks from the ground level to people that have no experience in property management or buying property at all.
So that's actually why I brought that up, is because for our family home that my wife and my son and I we live in now, we bought our house kind of in the middle of COVID when interest rates were super low and prices hadn't like gone crazy yet, but they were definitely on their way up. And where we live in Connecticut, hour and a half from New York, hyper competitive market. A lot of big money was coming from New York into Connecticut. People were, you know, offering 100 grand over asking on properties. I mean, insane bidding wars. You'd go to an open
Jeez.
house, there's 30 cars down the street like crazy, right? So me and my wife and I, we got our house not because we had the highest offer. We actually didn't have the highest offer on our house, but the woman who was selling it, it was her family home. Her mom had passed away, and her mom had been living there. That was the house that this woman had grown up in, and she wanted it to go to like another local family. And just so happens that the timing, we were that family, right?
Right.
And so I think that's the emotional component where the realtor kind of gave us that insight, and we were actually going to offer more on the house, but our realtor said, you could probably get away with a little bit less because this seller kind of likes you guys based on these factors. So that's kind of that emotional. That's why I said that, because that was our experience.
Wow. And honestly, that's great to hear that because Zach and I are coming from a place like we work for a real estate related company, but we are both renters, but we're both kind of on our way toward potentially investing or buying our first property ever, so like what would your advice be for somebody like us, like who's not maybe like a big investor yet and doesn't know a ton, but like from your perspective, like what would your best advice for like somebody just starting out be?
You mean as far as like an investment property?
Yeah, like get a first investment property, to get a renter, we're like super mom and pop level sort of thing.
First investment property should be one that you live in.
Okay.
By far, hands down, that is free money that you will never, ever, ever in your life be able to get again. Okay. So owner-occupied homes have the best terms of any deal ever. It's like you're never ever going to find lower interest rate with a lower down payment than an owner-occupied property, right? So if you can get you a 4-unit, it has to be a residential zone property, right? So get you a 4-unit. You live in one of the rooms in one of the units. Don't even take a whole unit for yourself. If you're a single man, you don't need a whole apartment. You don't even use the kitchen. Just live in a room, rent out the other rooms. I know. That was me, okay?
Yeah.
Rent out the other rooms and then rent the other units, the other 3 units, and that's like a wealth secret trick that everyone I know who has done that has propelled their journey forward. Because you think about it, not only are you making enough to cover the mortgage, but you're making that then some, right? You didn't have to come up with a lot out of pocket. So your ROI is going to be insane on like your cash on cash return. On top of that, if you super house hack and live in one of the rooms in one of the units, I mean, price per room is greater than price per unit, right? So, I mean, depending on your tolerance for dealing with tenants, you could rent all the rooms in the whole house and go crazy. I mean, but the leg up the leg up that gives you, because you'll have built equity, you'll have had cash flow, you'll have had experience dealing with tenants. When you go buy your next property, you're going to be on a different level than if you had just scrounged up money and tried to buy one. There's no better way. I didn't do it, and I regret it to this day.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
We've talked about, because that's called house hacking, right? Yeah, we've talked about that a few times. That seems to be kind of like a recurring theme. Is everyone kind of recommends doing that? So,
dude, if you are single, there's no reason. And if you're single and you're not doing it, you're. I don't want to name call anybody, but
I want you to name call him. He's right there. He's wearing a hat.
Come on, Patrick. Come on.
Well, along those same lines, like keeping it bringing it back around to the AI stuff, like just in terms of like even people that aren't trying to like raise capital, like maybe just like first time investors or property buyer, like people that are interested in buying property. Do you have any AI specific tips for those folks out there that may not be like trying to raise capital or get like sign deals necessarily all the time, but is there some basic AI tips that these people can use on a day-to-day?
Yeah, so here's an interesting little thing, and this works with any, chat, Claude, Gemini, whatever you want to do. Again, buying a property, especially one property, is usually an emotional thing, and there are usually emotional cues um, in at least the realtor's description of the property, right? So you go to Redfin or whatever, and you've got that little box of text. Um, you can look at that and give that to chat. If you, let's say you found the property you like, you're like, okay, cool, this looks like a good candidate, and you got that little description in there. Ask chat to pick up on any cues for you that will give you a leg up when you send your offer email or your offer letter to the realtor. Try to respond to them in their own tone. This is what we do with brokers. I don't know for people who know, Crexy and what's the other one? LoopNet are basically Zillow for commercial property. Same crap, same thing. And they also have a little box, and the broker is over there describing the property in that box, and his personality is showing in that box, right? And whenever someone mirrors our affect, we tend to respond more favorably to that person. So have AI mirror their affect for you.
Whoa, that's something I've never even thought about, and it makes so much sense. And it sounds so simple.
I like the. Thanks for the sound effect, Patrick.
I think this is a video podcast.
Yeah. I like the idea though. It's like also you like to decipher what they're saying in the description, because like a lot of those you read, it's like a rustic something home or whatever, and it's like, hey chat, tell me what they're hiding. What are they hiding? It's like by rustic we mean it's a shack.
Yes. It's barely standing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this has been really fun. Hollis, do you have a couple extra minutes that we can play a little quick game with you before we let you go?
Absolutely.
Okay. So our producers wrote this into our script here. So we're gonna try this out. All right, Patrick, did you read this?
I totally missed this page. I'm like, game.
Don't worry about it. Because we're gonna make fun of producer Musset if this doesn't work, and that's just gonna be the way that it goes. So we're gonna play a game: real skill or AI skill. Simple, fun game where the host, me and Patrick, are gonna say an activity, and you are gonna tell us whether it's a task that humans should focus on, a real skill, or if it's something that you think AI should take off their plate. So real skill, AI skill. So it's going to be a little goofy, but I want to see exactly where you come down on these. And if you feel like elaborating, please do.
Okay.
All right, here we go. The first one, remembering investor birthdays. Real skill, AI skill.
AI skill. Come on. You don't remember anybody's birthday.
I do. It is kind of, it's not sad, but I remember like when I was a kid, I used to have my planner, and I would write down my friends' birthdays on the planner every year to make sure that I told them happy birthday and that I didn't forget. But now the other day I woke up and Alexa was like, it's your brother's birthday. You should make sure you say something to him. And I was like, dang, you've gotten so lazy.
Alexa, order flowers. Right?
Yeah, right. Press this button to send them a nice greeting or something like that. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. Writing deal summaries. Real skill, AI skill.
AI skill.
Okay, pretty simple.
Better writer. It's a better writer.
Okay, good deal. Following up after a webinar. Real skill, AI skill.
AI skill.
Dang, we're 3-0.
You're gonna forget, or something will slip through the cracks. AI skill, especially on a webinar, it's not as personal. Right?
Sure.
It's not like you can sneak some personal details in there. Just like, hey, thanks for coming.
Okay, got it. Explaining an investment strategy. Real skill, AI skill.
Ooh, good one. I'm gonna say real skill if we're talking about in a one-to-one interaction. Or any kind of video or voice interaction, I'm gonna say real skill. I'm gonna say a real skill because the way you explain the strategy is often very personalized, right? Like Zach, if let's say you both want to invest in my deal, but you care more about capital preservation and Patrick cares more about tax benefits or something like that, but you both want to invest in the deal. The way I frame my strategy will be focused on that. And that information may only become available during our discussion. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with real skill for that.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That makes sense to me. I feel like there's a level of personability that you need to have if you're like doing something one-on-one with someone that maybe AI just can't replicate in that moment. So that makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay. Couple more. Tracking who opened an email. Real skill, AI skill.
What? What does that even mean?
I will say AI will give you some false positives there. You got to watch out.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
definitely AI skill. But
Yeah.
Okay. This one I feel like is just an easy gimme, but giving a first call to a new investor.
real skill for now, but watch out.
Watch out. You think that eventually we'll get to the place where you could send an AI like vocal bot to someone to be
Oh, it's already
like, give
happening.
them that
It's happening
first
right
warming
now.
call? Really?
I know a company that specializes in doing that, and they raise millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
Holy moly. Well,
Yep, exactly. That gives you the
interesting. So
warm and
real
fuzzies.
skill now, AI skill very soon, probably.
Very soon. You know what the only limiting factor will be there? It's not the technology, it's people's willingness to adopt it, right? So anytime you're dealing in large volumes of large amounts of money or anything in finance, like finance is a very slow sector to adapt because it requires very high trust. And a lot of people raising capital don't want to use the technology, and fewer than you think people receiving the calls also feel, a little uncomfortable with it. But a lot of people are actually okay with AI interactions as long as they know it's AI.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like people getting like tricked, quote unquote tricked, is like a common theme of like the people that are a little bit more fearful of AI in the everyday life are people that are tricked into it. But yeah, being very clear and upfront, having that disclaimer is probably a wise place to be at this juncture.
100%. 100%.
Cool. Okay. There's a couple others on here, but I think you killed it. I think you nailed all. I think you gave everyone the right answers on every one of these.
Except that email one, man. I probably should have went with
Right.
real skill on
Tracking
that.
who opened an email. Real skill. Total real skill. All right. I think that's about all we've got. This has been a super interesting conversation, very enlightening. Hollis, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Before we let you go, where can people find you online? How can people learn more about Real AI? Give us the rundown.
Raise AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Raise AI, my bad. And producer will edit that one out. Real quick. Raise AI.
Hit me on LinkedIn, William Hollis or REI Hollis on LinkedIn. Very, very active there. Go to our website, tryraise.ai, or our other website, capitaladvisory.ai. And you can find me in any of those places.
Okay. Awesome. Patrick, anything else to say before we close this bad boy out?
No, I think this is really interesting, really cool. Learned a new acronym, LP. Now I'm gonna go flex that.
All right, awesome.
At the next meetup, just be like, "Yep,
Yeah.
I'm an LP."
I know so much about LPs, all these LPs. Just say that in your next meeting, Patrick. I dare you. I'll give you 20
Yeah,
bucks.
I'm gonna try to slip it in organically.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Hollis, for coming onto the show. Remember, follow the show on social media, on your podcast service of choice. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Tell a friend about the Rentish Pod. Email questions at therentishpod.com if you want to submit a topic suggestion or a question or anything that you've got. We would love to hear from you out there. And until the next time, I've been Zach. That's been Patrick. That's been our guest, Hollis. And we'll see you guys next time.